This lecture is about the presentation skills, which is a topic of ADP IT second semester, subject communication skills. And in this lecture, we are going to deal with the strategies and delivery of presentation. So the first question that arises is, what is a presentation? A presentation is a means of communication that can be adapted to various speaking situations, such as talking to a group, addressing a meeting, or briefing a team. It can be either in a formal situation or an informal situation. You can either be addressing a group of friends, or you can be going through a business conference, and you need to present your ideas. That is called a presentation. A presentation can also be used as a broad term that encompasses other speaking engagements, such as making a speech at a wedding or getting a point across in a video conference. So the informal example is making a speech at a wedding, or formal example is making a video conference. To be effective, step-by-step preparation and the method and means of presenting the information should be carefully considered. A presentation requires you to get a message across to the listeners. Basic purpose of a presentation is getting your message across to the listeners. It's not just to get up on the stage and speak, but to make sure that whatever you're saying is being understood and listened to by the audience. And if you're able to recognize the situation, whether you're speaking in a formal situation or an informal situation, it would better help you to arrange your presentation and to focus on how to deliver it. Presentation strategies has two aspects: the actual presentation and delivery. They involve making sure that you are prepared enough material, that you've prepared it whatever is absolutely required for the presentation, and that you're delivering your material in an effective and efficient way. First aspect is considering the audience and what they already know. No matter how interesting we think we are, if we don't present with the audience's need in mind, we might as well be talking to an empty room. Consider what the audience may or may not know about the topic. This allows you to make small alterations to meet the needs of your audience. You need to first thing know your audience. What kind of people you're talking to, what kind of a group you're addressing. For example, if you start talking about some medical procedures to a group of teenagers or group of school children, then they would not be able to understand you. This would not be according to their needs, so they would obviously not listen to your presentation. So you have to consider the audience, what kind of audience you are addressing, and what the audience needs to know or wants to know. Because if you're presenting material that is not interesting to the audience, they're not going to listen to you, and your presentation is going to be a failure. Second is visualizing the stage and setting. Understanding the stage helps you anticipate and address barriers to learning. Imagine for a moment the difference in these two scenarios: a discussion in a dark room versus a discussion in an auditorium. Both require interaction, although an auditorium-based presentation requires testing your audiovisual equipment in advance. You have to make sure that you are visualizing the stage and setting appropriately. For example, if you're addressing a large audience, you need to make preparations accordingly, while if you're just talking to a bunch of friends, then you don't need to be all that formal, you don't need to prepare all that material. But if you're addressing a very large audience, you need to prepare and practice beforehand your presentation, and you need to also make sure that whatever aids or audiovisual tools or machinery you are utilizing during your presentation, they're working. You have to check that beforehand. Third is determining your objectives. To determine your objectives, begin with the end in mind. If you want to visualize your audience members at the end of a talk, what would they know, be able to do, or have a new outlook on? The objectives will determine the content to deliver and the activities for learning. For a 1 hour presentation, identifying 3 to 5 objectives is a good rule of thumb. So you need to obviously be sure of what you want to present, of what is your objective, and you need to impact the audience in 3 ways: their knowledge, their behavior, and their attitude. You're either telling them something that they don't know beforehand, which would be adding to their knowledge, or you're teaching them something that is part of their behavior, or you're changing their point of view. So you need to make sure that your objectives are clear to yourself, so that you can present your presentation, your talk in an effective manner. And knowing the objectives beforehand would enable you to produce the appropriate and correct content. Fourth aspect of presentation is building your presentation. Obviously, however, you're presenting your presentation is of the utmost importance. Build your presentation whether using PowerPoint, Prezi, or a whiteboard. Build the presentation from the objectives. Humans evolved to interpret visual imagery, not read text. So try to use pictures instead of bullet points. And one of the tips on how to do this is consider first building slides with text and then using an internet search engine to convert words to pictures. So you have to, keeping the objectives in mind, build a presentation. For example, if it's a formal presentation and you have to use some sort of multimedia or PowerPoint or Prezi or even a whiteboard, you have to be sure of what you're going to write on the board or on the slides. And it's better to use pictures because humans are better able to understand things that are visual instead of reading plain black and white text. So convert your words into pictures. That would make sure that your audience is better able to understand your presentation. And last point is practice. This is the most important point. You have to repeatedly again and again practice your presentation before actually delivering it, so that way you will be able to ensure that your presentation is to the point. It is not taking too much time, because time management is also an important part of presentation, and that whatever material you're presenting is very clear and concise and relatable to the audience. Practicing helps you become more comfortable with the content itself as well as how to present that content. If you can, practice with a colleague and receive feedback to sharpen your material. No time to spare. Practice the introduction and any major point that you want to get across. So audiences decide within the first 5 minutes whether your talk is worth listening to or before pulling out their cell phones to open up Facebook. So if your talk is not interesting, if your presentation is not making the audience pay attention, then they would not they would not even look at your presentation or at you. They would take out their cell phones and start doing something of their own. So you have to practice again and again, and efficient ways by doing it in front of someone else, in front of a colleague, in front of a friend, so that they can give you feedback. They can tell you whether your presentation is boring or is it exciting, or what modifications you need to make to it. Next is delivery. How you have to deliver the presentation, or what strategies of delivery you need to focus on. First is confront nervousness. Many of us become nervous when speaking in front of an audience. To address this, it's perfectly reasonable to rehearse the presentation at home or in a quiet call room ahead of time. If you feel extremely nervous, breathe deeply for 5 to 10 second intervals during the presentation itself. Find friendly or familiar faces in the audience and look them in the eyes as you speak. This eases nerves and improves your technique. So it's quite natural to be nervous when you're addressing an audience, whether that be of 3 or 4 people or a huge crowd. And normally if we are talking to a huge crowd, then our nervousness is even more apparent. So the trick for that is that if your friends are part of that group, of part of that audience, or you know someone from that audience, then focus on their faces instead of looking at the whole crowd, because that would help you feel at ease, that would make you feel at home, and you would be able to better present your presentation without being nervous. Another tip is to breathe for 5 to 10 seconds. Breathe deeply. Next is hook your audience. Like we mentioned before, that the audience decides within the first 5 minutes of your presentation whether it is worth listening to or they should not pay any heed to it. So you have to hook them, you have to make them interested. The purpose of the hook is to grab the attention of the audience. The best presenters intrigue the audience with a story or a problem at the outset and use the presentation to address that problem. You can tell a joke, you can tell an anecdote, you can tell a story, something that would make the audience pay attention to you. Speak clearly. We all use fillers such as and without noticing. To learn to speak well, practice as much as possible and ask for feedback on your diction. Use specific statements to key in the audience on important points such as, if you remember anything from this talk, I want you to remember. So you have to speak clearly. Obviously, if unless you speak clearly, the audience will not be able to understand you. And even unconsciously, we all use such fillers. We all use sounds and to during our presentation, because it's not easy to address an audience with a fluent language, especially as English is our second language. We have special difficulty in speaking fluently without pauses. So again, practice is the key to solving this issue. The more you practice, the more you would become fluent in that language, in your content. And before mentioning any important point of the presentation, make sure that you tell the audience that you're going to say something important, that you're going to present a key idea or a key concept. So you can use sentences like, if you remember anything from this talk, I want you to remember, so that they can pay extra special focus to whatever the key point of the argument is. Remember too that public speaking requires enthusiasm. Energy of the audience reflects the energy of the speaker. Obviously, if you're lethargic, or if you're shy, or if you're bored by your own presentation, the audience is not going to pay any attention. While if you're enjoying your presentation, the audience is going to react in the same way, and they're going to pay attention to whatever you're saying. Since the purpose of a presentation is to make sure that your audience is grabbing the message, is understanding your point, you have to facilitate learning. Don't do all of the talking. In fact, let the audience talk for you. Or for audience members to learn, they must engage with the material. For example, if you're addressing a group of students, college students or university students, then don't do all the talking. Don't make a presentation in which you're only speaking and speaking and speaking, but make a presentation in which there are some sort of activity, some sort of interaction between the speaker and the audience that would enhance and facilitate learning. And break the glass, don't hide behind the podium. Breaking the glass means stepping away from the podium to create an experience more akin to a dialogue. Stepping away from the podium breaks the expected monotony and can help burn nervous energy. So another thing is, if you're addressing a big crowd, if you're on a big stage, then keep moving about the stage. If you keep standing behind the podium, it's going to become monotonous. It's going to sound more like a monologue than an interaction, than a dialogue. You have to step away from the podium, and if you move about the stage, it will also ensure that you're garnering the attention of all the members in the audience, and not just you're not just within the focus of a few people, but you're actually interacting with the whole audience. And it also helps with the nerves, because if you're moving about the stage, it will burn up your nervous energy. Bottom line conclusion is that a fantastic presentation requires preparation and thoughtful delivery. Spend the time to prepare. Prepare and present and practice your presentation beforehand, and only in this way can you make a fantastic presentation, something that would leave a lasting impact on the audience.